Good evening, my friends. I am here to finish up Zechariah with you, my brothers and sisters. I had a good day, except my back is suing me for divorce. Other than that, it was a great day. I started the day off early, going to the hospital, but it wasn't because I was sick. It was because I wanted a MRI done of my spine from the very top to the very bottom, and they did it. And that took a long time, y'all. I don't know what the heck was going on. I think that was the longest MRI I ever had done. And about 2/3 of the way through, they stopped and squirted some dye or something in my arm. I'm not sure how squirting something in my arm is going to make it get up to my spine, because it's my spine, which starts right here and goes down to my bottom, nowhere near this arm. But anyway, they put some dye or something in that arm, and then they finished. I had to go to the bathroom. I was uncomfortable laying there on my back on a hard surface for seemed like 3 hours. I don't know how long I was in there. But anyway, and they had me put on scrubs just like theirs. I took a picture. I thought it looked pretty cool. I told them, does that mean I'm a doctor now? But for some reason, I had to take my clothes off and put the scrubs on while I laid on that table. And my clothes were clean. I just got them out of the dryer. But anyway, I put on their scrubs and did the MRI and came home. And then Nicole's been after me a lot lately to get some new tires for my truck, because I'm not lying, y'all. The tires on my truck look like my head. And they're not old. I bought them just before I moved up here, which is about 3 months ago. 3 years ago. And last year, I went the whole year on 2 tanks of gas. So that wasn't a whole lot of miles last year put on those tires. The year before that, I did go to Texas twice, but I can't remember. It's like 800 and something miles from here to there. So round trip, that's 1,600, and times 2 trips, that's 3,200 miles. That's not a lot of miles. And the rest of that year, I didn't drive, I think other than the trips to Texas, I'd only used 2 tanks of gas. And this year, this is getting near the end of September, I'm on my 2nd tank of gas, and I've got about 3/4 of that tank left. So it'll probably last me till the end of the year. So 6 tanks of gas in 3 years, that's doing pretty good. And that truck's got a big Hemi. It's got a big engine. It's a heavy drinker, but I just don't go anywhere. But anyway, I went over there to the big town south of here after the hospital and bought 4 new tires for it. And this time I got some all-terrain, all-season tires that'll be good for driving on the snow and ice, except when the snow and ice starts, my truck stays in the garage. I don't go anywhere. I stock up on enough water and food to last all 6 or 7 months of winter, and I don't go anywhere during that time. So, but Nicole's happy that I got new tires. I told her, come on over and I'll take you for a ride in my truck with the new tires. She's coming over next week. She's busy. I don't remember if I told y'all, she's got something big she's working on right now. I'm happy for her. It would scare me to death if I was doing something like that. But when I was her age, I was doing the same thing. I did some stuff that is probably more dangerous than what she's doing. And she's got a lot of confidence in what she's doing, and I can't say anything yet because there's still a lot of paperwork and legal work and stuff in process. And so until it's a done deal and she started, I'm not going to elaborate any further on what she's doing, but I'm impressed with her. I just hope it all does good, and I'm sure it will. She's very adventurous, very outgoing. She I forgot what all she told me about her nurses. She was a nurse for years. She got her first nursing license when she was a sophomore in high school, and now she's a doctor. So she's very industrious. So I'm sure everything will be all right. It's not a business or not a enterprise I would feel comfortable doing, but she's, people are different, and it's a good thing we're not all alike. And I bought a small a small chest freezer, so I'll have a place to put my chili in tomorrow. Doesn't matter how good I feel or how bad I hurt or whatever, I gotta make that chili, y'all. That meat has been in the fridge for 2 days. Tomorrow will be 3 days. I gotta cook it. So that meat was too expensive to throw away. It was way too expensive to throw away. So I gotta cook it tomorrow. And I am just about ready to go to bed. As soon as I get this video uploaded, I'm going to bed. And it's not even dark yet. I don't know if you can see the windows or not, but it's not even dark. But I'm tired. I was at the tire place 4 or 5 hours. I never saw anybody take so long to take old tires off and put new tires on. Goodness gracious. And they weren't that busy. I think I was the only one there getting tires. There were several cars in there, but they were just sitting there. They wasn't getting any work done on them, and they were there when I got there, and they were there when I left. Maybe that's where the employees parked. I don't know, but the whole time I was there, my truck was the only one that was getting anything done to it. But anyway, it looks good. It's got new tires on it now, and it must have rained last night or something, because the dust all got washed off my truck. My truck looks like a new truck now. On this side, on the driver's side, the passenger side got hit and run 2 times. It's all banged up, but the driver's side looks good. All right, let me read here, y'all. I'm ready to go to bed. I am so ready to go to bed. Zechariah chapters 13 and 14, and that'll wrap up Zechariah. In that day there shall be a fountain opened to the house of David and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem for sin and for uncleanness. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will cut off the names of the idols out of the land, and they shall no more be remembered. And also I will cause the prophets and the unclean spirit to pass out of the land. And it shall come to pass that when any shall yet prophesy, then his father and his mother that begat him shall say unto him, Thou shalt not live, for thou speakest lies in the name of the Lord. And his father and his mother that begat him shall thrust him through when he prophesieth. That's pretty harsh. And it shall come to pass in that day that the prophets shall be ashamed, every one of his vision, when he hath prophesied, neither shall they wear a rough garment to deceive, But he shall say, I am no prophet, I am a husbandman. For man taught me to keep cattle from my youth. And one shall say unto him, What are these wounds in thy hands? Then he shall answer, Those with which I was wounded in the house of my friends. He's going to prophesy Israel being chastened. Awake, O sword, against my shepherd, and against the man that is my fellow, saith the Lord of hosts. Smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered, and I will turn mine hand upon the little ones. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. And I will say, It is my people, and they shall say, The Lord is my God. Bam, y'all. Chapter 14 of the book of Zechariah. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. All of this that he's prophesying right now is just about to happen, y'all, any day now. It's started. It's in progress. It just hadn't got full blown yet, but it will. I think it will very soon. Then shall the Lord go forth and fight against those nations, as when he fought in the day of battle. And his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east, and the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof toward the east and toward the west, and there shall be a very great valley, and half of the mountain shall remove toward the north, and half of it toward the south. And ye shall flee to the valley of the mountains, for the valley of the mountains shall reach unto Azal. Yea, ye shall flee, like as ye fled from before the earthquake in the days of Uzziah, king of Judah. And the Lord my God shall come, and all the saints with thee. And it shall come to pass in that day that the light shall not be clear nor dark, but it shall be one day which shall be known to the Lord, not day nor night. But it shall come to pass that at evening time it shall be light. And it shall be in that day that living waters shall go out from Jerusalem, half of them toward the former sea, and half of them toward the hinder sea. In the summer and winter shall it be. And the Lord shall be king over all the earth. In that day shall there be one Lord, and his name one. All the land shall be turned as a plain from Geba to Rimmon south of Jerusalem, and it shall be lifted up and inhabited in her place, from Benjamin's gate unto the place of the first gate, unto the corner gate, and from the tower of Hananeel unto the king's wine presses. And men shall dwell in it, and shall be no more utter destruction. But Jerusalem shall be safely inhabited, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord shall smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. And it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from the Lord shall be among them, And they shall lay hold every one on the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor. And Judah also shall fight at Jerusalem, and the wealth of all the heathen round about shall be gathered together, gold and silver and apparel in great abundance. And so shall be the plague of the horse, of the mule, of the camel, and of the ass, and of all the beasts that there be in these tents, as this plague. And it shall come to pass that every one that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth into Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. And if the family of Egypt go not up and come not, and they have no rain, there shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. This shall be the punishment of Egypt, and the punishment of all nations that come not to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. In that day shall there be upon the bells of horses holiness unto the Lord. And the pots in the Lord's house shall be like the bowls before the altar. Yea, every pot in Jerusalem and in Judah shall be holiness unto the Lord of hosts. And they that sacrifice shall come and take of them, and seethe therein. And in that day there shall be no more Canaanite in the house of the Lord of hosts. And that is Zechariah, y'all. And that is that for today. I'm going to get a drink and I'm going to go to bed. Good night, y'all. God bless you, friends.